Hello guys, this is FK, and in this video I'm going to be speaking to junior developers. I started my career, it's going to 14 years now. My career is going to 14 years now, and I can tell you, just as it was confusing then being a junior person in this field, I know how it can be confusing now, even now where there's so many options, there's so many different career paths in tech. Not like when we started and there was even nothing like front end, back end, you were just a web developer. So today I'm going to be speaking to junior developers, and some of this advice is even going to be useful for experienced developers and even intermediate developers, and is mainly to help you to know what to concentrate on, not get lost in all the distractions, know what to focus on, know how to grow, know the things that should matter to you at this very beginning of your career. And I want to encourage you to follow all the points I'm going to be making in this video. That's why I've titled the video Dear Junior Developers, because I want you to know how you can properly spend your time making sure that you're focusing on the right things and grow steadily in this business with the right mindset and be able to hit your goals as early as possible. So join me as I take you through all the points I have here for this video. So the first point I'm going to be making in this video is that this is a long game. Being a developer, being in tech is a long game, and you have to be patient with yourself. It's a long game. You are about to get a professional skill, and just like every professional there, a professional mechanical engineer, a professional electrical engineer, a professional pilot, this thing is going to take you time. I'm sure you're not going to trust a doctor that only spent 6 months in school. So don't expect very quick development. Don't expect to be a senior in 1 year. Don't expect to, you can get lucky. You can get your first job. You can get your job in your first year. People get lucky all the time, but your level of proficiency is definitely going to grow with time. So you have to give yourself time, because like I said, this is also a professional skill. Remember that you went to the university to spent almost 3 to 4 years learning a particular course, and you had to go through different levels before you were able to graduate. So this, even though it's not like there's a structure and there's a graduation point or stuff like that, but your proficiency level is going to increase over time. It's going to increase over time. Now you can speed that up by putting in so much time and effort into what you're learning, but some things will eventually take time. Some things take time, just like giving birth to a baby. No matter how much effectiveness you want to put, a pregnant woman is going to give birth to a baby in 5 months. So some things are going to take time. Some experience are meant for you to learn on the job and learn over so many months, over so many years of actively working. So be patient with yourself, be patient with your growth. This is a long game, but you would reap benefits along the line. It's not like you're going to have to wait for 3 years or 4 years before you start seeing the results. You are always going to see results as long as you stay focused and you keep growing, being patient with learning the skills that you have decided to learn. Next thing I'm going to be talking about is that you should build a skill before you build a brand. Yeah, build a skill before you build a brand. There's so much noise around on social media now. Everybody wants to say one or two things. Everybody wants to give hot takes. Everybody wants to appear like, oh yeah, I'm big in this business, I've made it in this business and all that. But as a junior developer, as someone that is just starting out in tech, it's better you build your core skills very well before you start becoming an influencer overnight. Definitely you can still share your journey, you can share your projects and stuff, but don't automatically assume the role of an influencer, because you're just putting pressure on yourself. You're just putting a lot of pressure on yourself. If people notice you just by chance, then that's fine, but don't assume the profession of an influencer and start wasting more time on that time that you're supposed to spend on developing valuable development skills, spending it having to post 3 to 5 things every single day. Remember, if you appear before your time, you might eventually disappear in no time. So spend time making sure that you strengthen the skills that you have. Grow solid roots, because the winds of test are going to come. You can't talk a big game and not be able to prove it. The winds of test are going to come, and if it comes and you cannot prove yourself, then that is going to be a big dent on your career. So you want to make sure that you any check you're writing, you can cash them. It's not, like I said, it's not advisable to start an influencing business when you're still trying to grow your career. But this doesn't mean that you cannot share your work. You can always share your work, you can always share what you're doing and take feedback from the community. That is fantastic. But avoid becoming an influencer overnight. The next one we're going to be looking at is that your biggest threat as a beginner is going to be distractions from all the tech options. That's going to be your biggest threat, because you are trying to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and someone else is telling you that AI is the thing. AI is the in thing now. Oh, you start looking into AI, someone tells you that DevOps engineers are earning 150K a year. Then you start panicking, like, well, I hope I'm not wasting my time learning AI. Okay, let me look at DevOps and everything. And you just definitely, you suddenly see one of your friends roll a Benz by one day and he says he's doing UI UX. And you feel, oh, should I do that? Your biggest challenge is going to be distractions, because there's so many options in tech. But I want to tell you, every option is lucrative as long as you're good at what you do. As long as you're good at what you do. Developers, people in tech are well paid. It's a premium skill to have in our world today. So just focus on your own track, learn into proficiency, and be the best you can be. The money is going to come to you. The money is going to eventually come to you. So you want to make sure that you are watching how you consume information, how you get distracted by several options. Pick one thing and stay on your track and learn that well. Get a job, be good at your job, get some job experience, and when you're solid, you can always do something else when you feel that you're good in the particular track you've been doing for the past year. So like I said, distraction is going to be one of your biggest challenges. There's no best career path in tech. There's no best career path. The best career path is the one that you're best at. The next one we're going to be talking about is that you need to avoid social media noise. You need to avoid social media noise. A lot of developers are just coming on social media when they are, when they're done with their work, and then just want to just share something with the community. And a lot of people, for engagements, they just give different hot takes. Oh, PHP is already dead 5 years ago. We're still using Java. Why will you learn React when Svelte is already taking over? And also, there are so many hot takes flying around on social media. Don't get distracted by that. In fact, I advise that you take social media breaks, especially when you want to learn when you want to improve your JavaScript skills. You can just leave social media for like 4 months and go and concentrate on building that skill. Your absence from social media is going to ensure that no information is distracting you from your track. So avoid social media noise. A lot of people are giving advice based on what worked for them, and what worked for them might not work for you. But one thing will always work, which is consistency and hard work, and that's what you should focus on. So avoid social media noise. Only use information that is going to be useful to advancing your career in the path that you have chosen. So the next piece of advice I'm going to be giving you is that try to balance learning with practice. Yeah, try to balance learning with practice. A lot of us watch like so many tutorials and we have not done anything. We're just watching tutorials, just nodding. Oh yeah, I'm getting this thing. I'm just nodding from video to video. You're not practicing it. Sometimes the person teaching you the course is telling you to practice, but yeah, I get it. Do this, add this. Yeah, I get it, and all that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that lady. Don't be the one to attend 15 classes, 4 boot camps, watch thousands of videos, and you have no side project. You have no project you're working on. You're just nodding your head at tutorials. You're nodding your head in classes. You're doing class tests when you need to, just because the instructor wants you to. And when you just leave, you don't practice. Balance learning with practice. Learning is the input. Practice, working, is the output. That's how you tell us that you're a developer. Else you're not different from the next guy. Learning is input, practice is output. And without output, my brother, sorry, you are not a developer. You are not a developer. You're a developer by what you do. Nobody's going to go into your head you have to produce something concrete from what you know in your head. So always make sure that you're balancing learning with practice. Sometimes you want to just cover a whole lot of topics so that you can go and tell your friends, oh yeah, I know how to do this, I know how to do that. You don't know how to do it until you have done it. Until you have done it, until you have used it to solve a problem, until you have used it in a project, you don't know how to do it yet. So make sure that you are doing it. Make sure that you are doing it. And practice in itself, its own form of learning. Practice in itself is its own form of learning. So always make sure you are balancing learning with practice. 50-50, that's good. In fact, I'd always advise, in terms of percentages, practice more than learning. So if you're going to spend 40% of time learning, spend 60% of your time practicing what you've learned. So that's another thing. Practice is a powerful way, is in its own way a way of learning. Break stuff, fix them back. We're in a break and fix industry, so don't be afraid to break stuff. You will always learn something. It's either you learn how to do it or how not to do it. The next advice I'm going to be giving is that you should build and finish a lot of small side projects. Yeah, don't wait for work to come. Don't say, oh, I'm not doing anything now because nobody has given me a project. I'm not doing anything now because nobody has given me a job. There's so many jobs you can create for yourself. You can tell yourself, oh, I want to build 15 components with React. A component, I want to build a dialog component. I want to build a carousel component. I want to build a progress bar. I want to give yourself all those tasks. Build them, push them to your GitHub page. Tell yourself you want to build Twitter. Yeah, you want to build your own version of Twitter. Give yourself something that you feel you cannot achieve. It will help you expose yourself to problems that you don't know you could solve, or problems that you might not be able to solve, but at least you will know what you are lacking. It will introduce you to things that you are lacking. You want to solve this particular problem and discover that, oh, React hooks will actually work for solving this problem. Or when you ask somebody to tell you, oh, you can use a state management library for this, you probably didn't know what the state management library was before. But because you dared that problem, now you know what a state management library is. Just because you attempted that problem. So, and a lot of this project, don't worry, a lot of them will not, see daylight, but they will give you something that would be useful in your career. They would contribute so much to making your hands strong on those skills that you've chosen, and you will thank yourself. Your future self is going to thank your past self for taking up all those challenges. So make sure that you're doing a whole lot of small side projects, pushing them to your GitHub pages, getting your arms strong, and exposing yourselves to problems in order to find the solution and learn new concepts that are being used to solve problems in the language, in the framework, or whatever skill that you are hoping to develop. The next is that you should get a proper mentor. Yeah, get a proper mentor. Mentors are like those conductors in front of a choir. They help you to harmonize everything. They help you to avoid things that you would be time wasters. They help you to answer your questions. They help you to spend less time going in the wrong direction. And when I say mentor, I'm not talking about someone you're following on social media and you're just, feeling from afar. No, you have to have a mentor that you have a two-way relationship with. Yeah, someone you can call, someone you can text. Even if they are busy, it should be someone that they can later on pick your messages and reply you. So get that kind of mentor. Get a mentor. It will really help you, especially not to waste time. Because as a beginner, you are naive about a lot of things. So you might end up making a guess as to what is important, and you're just wasting your time on something that will not have a very significant upside in the future. So get yourself a mentor. There's a very big mentorship gap. I remember at a time on Twitter, a lot of new devs were in panic over the current state of tech. That's in terms of getting jobs and everything. And I just posted that, yeah, anybody that needs an online mentor, they should contact me. And you need to see how many DMs I got. In fact, DMs, so many people following me to the point that Twitter blocked my account for like a few minutes and told me to re-verify because there's an unusual, because my account is very dry. So that was an unusual amount of attention to my account that day. So get a mentor. Mentorship is very, very important, and drag your mentor. See, it's not your mentor that will look for you. And that's something I've seen a lot of people get wrong. It's not your mentor that will be looking for you. It's not your mentor that will be chasing you up and down. Your mentor is busy. Your mentor is most likely at a job and they're busy with their life already. In fact, they are doing very well. They are doing you a good service by being your mentor. So chase them. You are the one with the responsibility to chase your mentor. Don't be expecting your mentor to remind you of something or your mentor to call you. You are the one that should always be on your mentor's neck to make sure that he or she is following up with you. So get a mentor. I'm even thinking of opening a mentorship program. So if you think that's a good idea, please let me know in the comment section before I waste my time doing something that people don't need. So, but get a mentor. That's the next thing we're going to be talking about. The next advice is that you should learn. I think this might be a bit repetitive, but I'll just emphasize it again. I will emphasize it. Learn to disappear to grow art skills. Yeah, see, I used to have a friend in those days that really inspired me to expand my skills, because I didn't know I was setting the bar very low for myself. I didn't know I was setting the bar very low for myself. But when I saw his work, I knew that I was Jon Snow. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. In fact, when I saw his work, I just closed my laptop and focused on him. So this guy, you will just not see him for 6 months. Like you will not be able to contact him. You probably go to his house, he will not be there, or you don't even know his house, or it will just go off. And by the time he comes back, this guy will probably have built his whole startup from scratch. There was time this guy built his own Linux distro. Yeah, it was that hardcore, and he always comes back with this very big air because he has not been barbing his hair for months. And now you don't need to go that extreme. You don't need to be that hardcore, but learn to take a break from a lot of distractions. A lot of good things can be distraction too. A whole lot of activities around you that you can cut out just for you to have more hours to spend every day on a particular skill. Let's say you only have 2 hours you spend every day or 3 hours you spend every day, and you know that there's this thing you want to learn, maybe Laravel 10. I don't know what level Laravel is now. Let's just say Laravel 10 just came out and Laravel 10 is new, and you want to master it. Go off for 2 months so that you can spend 8 hours on it every day. If you were spending 2 hours on Twitter before, cut it to 10 minutes or ditch it. If you were watching a particular series before, end it or stop it and just get time. Something has to give. Borrow time from all those things that are not really going to contribute to that core goal that you currently have. Borrow time from all those things and learn to focus for a fixed period of time to develop a very core skill. Maybe you are a front-end developer, you've learned JavaScript, now you want to learn React. Go away and learn React. You will thank yourself when you come back. So always learn to disappear to grow very solid skills. And when you come back, you can evaluate yourself. You can evaluate yourself by building a project. You can build a very big, complicated project. You can go for a certification. You can run tests, or you can just start applying. Yeah, you might do that because of a job you want to get. They said, so framework. Let's say HTMX is hot in the market now, and there's so many people hiring HTMX developers, and you want to learn HTMX. You go away for 3 months, learn HTMX, come back, and just start applying. And those interviews will be another way for you to test yourself with this skill that you've just gone to hibernate and go and develop. So, yeah, learn to disappear and grow art skills. Now, the next advice I'm going to be giving is that you should prefer small daily improvements over rushed progress. Small daily improvements over rushed progress. Now, let me give you an example. You want to learn this particular programming skill or language or framework, whatever it is. And there's one guy on one side that is learning it for 2 hours every day. 2 hours, can give it 2 hours every single day. And there's this guy that would leave it from Monday to Friday, then spend 8 hours on Saturday and 8 hours on Sunday learning it. Then leave it again Monday to Friday. Then come back 8 hours on Saturday, 8 hours on Sunday learning it. The guy that, I can bet this with you, the guy that is spending 2 hours every day will most likely have a better outcome than the other guy that is only doing it on weekends. Yeah, because doing something every day, it makes it more part of you and harder to forget than rushing it every weekend. Just like when we were back in school, those days back in school, imagine you were studying maths only on weekends. Oh my God, I don't know. Well, some people have special brains, so you probably were able to cope. But imagine someone does maths 2 hours every day. studies mathematics 2 hours every day. Another person is doing it 8 hours 2 times a week. The person that is doing it every day will most likely have a better outcome, because a lot of this knowledge are volatile, but consistently doing it will make it a part of you. And before you know it, you don't even have to really squint your brain to remember a lot of things. You have muscle memory of the practice in your hands already, because you practice every single day. Every single day you have a contact with it. You have contact with it every single day. So small improvements over rushed process. Spend more time on learning things completely. Spend more time on learning completely than building one project and immediately adding it to your like. Some people would see PHP, oh, Laravel. People are hiring for Laravel around. Now you just rush Laravel over a few weekends and you build a small project, and before you know it, you put it on your CV that you now know Laravel. You are like that person that is studying for exam and studied 3 days to the exam and just rushed all the papers and is hoping to have a good outcome, compared to somebody that has been studying throughout the semester, even though in tiny bits. So don't deceive yourself. Do things, favor consistency over rushing yourself because you want to quickly get to a particular result. Like I said from the first point, this is going to take time. So be patient with yourself. You are not here to get rich quick. You are not here to, in quote, hustle. This is not a hustle. This is not your get rich quick scheme. So always try, when you want to learn a particular skill, to go the consistency approach. Touching base with it every day is much better than rushing it over a couple of weekends. The next I'm going to talk about, and this is specific to programming. Definitely, we're talking to developers, so yeah, that applies. Beware of frameworks. Yeah, beware of frameworks. Frameworks help you to do a lot of things fast, and I mentioned this in one of my videos where I said, where I talked about what you need to do to make sure that you've mastered a programming language. Frameworks help you to do things fast, but they abstract a lot of the inner workings. Now, that's good for you to be able to produce products fast, for you to be able to build applications fast. But where it will bite you is when you need to debug problems. Because building applications fast, yeah, frameworks are favored. But when it comes to debugging, it is about who knows the inner workings of the particular language that is backing up that framework. So beware of frameworks. They are very cool, they are very tempting, they are very nice, and you will use them. I've used them a lot, and I will continue to use them. I advise you to continue to use them for productivity, but make sure that you have understood the underlying language properly before you jump on the framework bandwagon. If it's Laravel, make sure that you've learned PHP very well. If it's Next.js, make sure that you're good with Node.js and JavaScript. If it's Node.js itself, because Node.js is basically a JavaScript framework, make sure that you are proficient in JavaScript. If it's React, make sure you're proficient in JavaScript. If it's Django, make sure that you're proficient in Python. So frameworks are for productivity, but what makes you a very good engineer, what makes you a very good developer, a problem solver, is how much you know the inner workings of the language backing up your framework. So I'm going to be running through the last 3 points, the last 3 advice I'm going to be giving you as junior developers or any developer that ends up finding this useful. Is that you will make mistakes, and just be okay with that. You're going to make mistakes. Like I said, it is a break and make industry. You're going to break things and you're going to make them work. You're going to break things and you're going to make them work. When you break things, you learn how not to do it. When you make things work, you learn how to do it. So in one form or the other, you're learning something. So you'll make mistakes. Be comfortable with making mistakes. Even in interviews. Even sometimes in interviews, when you are calm, when you're okay with making mistakes, you'll be calmer in an interview, because one of the biggest problems of people failing in interview is panic. Not because they don't know what they're being asked. It's just panic. And that panic comes from, oh, I don't want to get this thing wrong. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to fail. I've had instances whereby I got something wrong, but they knew I was going, the direction of I was going, they knew I knew what I was doing. And I just asked further questions and they reply me and I just get to fix it. And sometimes some interviews turn to a discussion and I'm able to navigate myself to getting things done. So be okay with making mistakes. If you don't understand something, you can ask questions. Ask a lot of questions. That's why I also say you should have a mentor, have peer groups that you code together and all that stuff. Ask a lot of questions. When you make a mistake and you solve it, that's something new that you know. So feel free to make mistakes. The more mistakes you make, the more you know, and the lesser mistakes you make in the long run. The next thing is that you should learn something you're passionate about. Now, I know that this might sound fluffy, this might sound cliche, but you're going to be in this business for a long time, and you better be doing something that you really care about. Learn something you're passionate about, because that's something you're going to be happy waking up doing every day. And because programming is going to frustrate you, development is going to frustrate you, you're going to be very frustrated. You're going to hit your hand on the table, hit your hand on the computer, you're going to scream internally, scream externally. So you better be doing something you care about, because that's what will make you open that laptop the next day. If it's not something you care about, you're not going to be motivated to do it. So do something you care about. I did a video recently where I talked about how to pick a career in tech, and we came from the perspective of what you care about. Do something you care about, and when you do that, you would always have the motivation to keep trying even when you fail. The last thing will be that you should learn a few things well. At this beginning, that is your big strategy. That is your main strategy. Learn a few things well. You want to be a front-end developer, focus on your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, because even those ones, they are a whole career, they're a lifetime. I've seen people that are senior developers now, and it's just based on CSS. They are senior developers because they know CSS to mastery levels. There are people that just JavaScript, only JavaScript. And if you ask them, oh, what about Perl? I don't know. What about Python? Oh, I'm not familiar with that. They are okay with the fact that they don't know another type of technology. Because what they know it well, they know it to advanced levels, they know it to mastery level. You want to do backend, focus, pick a language. You want to, if it's Python, you want to use pick Python. If it's Node.js, you want to use pick Node.js. If it's Ruby, you want to use pick Ruby. Focus on that, know it very well, know the standard library, know the syntax. The syntax become muscle memory for you. Know it and know it well. Know the things surrounding it. For example, like a backend, know how the memory works, know how the CPU works, know how a lot of things that make up your server, how to do caching, how to optimize stuff, how to make things run faster, how to write tests, how to debug errors. Know a few things well. Don't get easily distracted. We talked about distraction in one of the points. Don't get easily distracted. You hear AI today, you're jumping to AI. You hear crypto tomorrow, you're jumping to crypto. Learn a few things well. Become a master at it. That's your best strategy. And with that, I can assure you, you will get the job in that track. You want to be a front-end developer, you're very good at HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can't be ignored. You can't be ignored. So that's the last thing. I hope these points have been able to help you. This is a video I'm going to be doing yearly based on whatever new thing is in tech. I'm going to be updating this video yearly, but I hope that I've been able to guide you and give you something to work with to make sure that as a junior developer, you don't fall to the common pitfalls and you keep straight till you hit your desired goal. Thank you very much. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you've not followed us, remember to follow us, because we will love seeing you in another video. Bye.